My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours, and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, their songwriting techniques, and occasionally getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. Welcome to episode 146. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guest today is Elsy Wameyo. The Kenyan-born, Adelaide-based singer and rapper is releasing her debut EP today, entitled Nilotic. In today's episode, we're speaking with Elsy about her incredible single, River Nile, her newfound sense of self, and the incredible work of Little Simz. Here we go. Our guest today is an Adelaide-based, Kenyan-born singer, rapper and producer. Having spent the last number of years working on her craft and sharing stages with artists like Sampa The Great and Hilltop hoods, she's today releasing her debut EP, entitled Nilotic. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Elsy Wameyo. Good morning. How are we?
Good morning. I'm so good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Whereabouts are you joining us from today?
I am in Adelaide, yes, in my mother's household.
Lovely. We are an Adelaide-based podcast as well, so
there you go.
SA represent, yeah.
Yeah.
Elsy, we are here today to talk about your brand new EP, which is out now, Nilotic, and I want to get to the EP in a second. I want to talk the current single, River Nile. It is out now, and Elsy, I don't even know how to begin to address this, but this track is just huge.
Thank you.
Congratulations. This track is incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, River Nile it's new energy, really. It's the revelation. I call it the River Nile revelation. I think I'm also as astonished and surprised as you, because this track was the way it came about was super interesting. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of work, a lot of waiting. I had hit a writer's block right before River Nile, so it was hard, but it is what it is. And here, we're now listening to one of the best tracks, I say, so yeah, it's really interesting. It's really cool. I'm really excited to have it out.
It is as I've said, and I'll continue to say, it's a huge track and fantastic track as well. And it does seem kind of like you just said, like it's almost a little bit of a reinvention for you, or it seems like it's definitely a definitive new stage for you artistically. How have you felt the reception has been that you've received for it so far?
It's been great. I think, it's hard. I think I'm definitely that person that wants to read every message and, say thank you to every person. But, it's a lot of love. It's a lot of love, and I'm super grateful. And I think I'm super excited. I'm really excited that people are resonating. For starters, it's always I'm always on edge after doing a track, and then, it can either go left or right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited that people are also resonating and the people are loving it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I imagine that writing a track like this while going through a range of emotions when you're listening back to it, was there anything when you kind of received that final product and were sitting down listening to it, I guess, what was that kind of moment like? Was there like a cathartic moment? Was there like I won't swear, but like a holy kind of time of
Yeah, I think River Nile, from the get-go, there was definitely that moment of like, yo, like, this is sick. I remember having finished the production side of it. And, you know, these tracks are so simple. So River Nile is, you're just listening to like a bass line, a drum track, and a few things here. You know, like, it's not the most technical track. And, you know, I think the beat was already there. It was already doing, you know, what it needed to do. And I remember like, in my head, I knew I had to come in with a really clean line. Like, the lines had to be super clean and super just, you know, at the forefront, and have that same energy of like, I'm just about to own this. And again, because I had come from this writer block, I didn't have anything, but in here I felt like I was everything, you know. But I remember just that first verse, you know, last time I wrote was a medical piece, you know, because talking about Nilotic and that writing process, and that being a healing process. But I think the first verse, after kind of you know, kind of living again through what I went through with Nilotic, but then coming to that place of like, okay, you know what, I cried, I felt that, but now it's like, I'm a Nilot G, like, I am the most powerful, I am the greatest, I am, you know, it's me, you know what I'm saying? So I think that after that first verse, it was that turning point where it was like, yeah, like, this is the track. And I think it was just because of that confidence.
It is I can't, and I realize it sounds like I'm kind of gushing, which I guess I will admit that I am, but there even seems, on this track, like a confidence and a flow almost that you would expect to hear from like a veteran of music. It seems like the confidence is not just felt in the lyrics, but in the delivery as well, and in the presentation of it all. It's just incredible.
Thank you. You know, I think that the interesting thing is, I think a lot of this was resting dormant. Nothing is new at all. I'm telling you, growing up, spiritually, I was a rapper before a singer, because I was listening to the likes of Lil Wayne, you know, YMCMB, that whole crew, you know. And then you've got Nicki, who's there doing the thing. And then going back, you know, back in Kenya, I was listening to all the rappers of Octopizzo, you know, like, I'm sure you probably might not know them, but I was listening to a lot of rappers. I never really listened to singers at all. And then it wasn't until I came to Oz and I started hearing the likes of Adele, Justin Bieber was starting to do the thing. But I think rapping was always in here. It was just like resting dormant. And subconsciously, I think I already kind of knew how people were playing with words and how, you know, flows were happening and how people were just like making this thing. And so I think when it came to executing it, it wasn't 100% new to me. You know, it was something that was already kind of boiling and you know, prepping in my head. So yeah, when it came to that writing part, I think that's where it came from. It was almost natural, because it was already resting dormant and it was just ready to just be, you know, unleashed. Yeah.
That's very cool. I kind of love that.
Thank you.
You do kind of have, I guess, your hands all over this kind of project. You are singing, there's rapping. I believe that there was some co-production or production on the EP as well.
Yeah.
How important, I think, actually, very quick, I think even you've co-directed the music video for River Nile as well.
Yeah. So Nilotic, I co-directed with Richard Coburn. And then River Nile, I co-directed with Leighton Bond. Yeah, so I think it was really because Nilotic, the journey, again, it's a very very personal journey, you know. So I remember even going to these guys with the visual side of it and just going like, hey, like, I've got this thing that I want to do, but I had to definitely set that ground rule of like, remember, I'm at the forefront of this. Like I'm directing this. You're jumping on board into my journey, especially with River Nile, because River Nile was that moment where I could confidently go like, yeah, like this is mine, you know. So yeah, it was very specific in the people that I was working with, and not just the visual side, in every aspect, you know, the people that I was collaborating with and letting touch, you know, the music side of it, and just any aspect of it. I was very, very particular because I'm very like big on energy. I'm very big on, you know, what you're going to release. And so because again, it was almost like my baby. It is my baby, you know, and it's such a spiritual journey for me, you know, so I had to make sure that whoever was coming into this world was coming with the right intentions. It was the right person. They were coming with good energy, you know, and all of that. So, I had to make sure that I was getting the right people on it. But yeah, I worked with some really, really talented people, some really, really good friends as well, which was even that little bit more special because they were just like my friends, you know what I'm saying? Like we were just creating because we love to create, but we were creating, you know, this masterpiece. So yeah, it's so beautiful how it all worked out.
Yeah, of course. The EP itself, we'll move away from the track. The EP itself, Nilotic, it is gorgeous as a body of work, and I feel that it kind of does represent both the new Elsy, the old Elsy, who is maybe more singer than rapper. And it, I just feel that it would be extremely cathartic in a way, almost, having this body of work that you're able, as you just kind of said, it's your baby. It's this thing that you've realized this is what you want to make. You are in control of it, and it is like a very strong representation of yourself. The title track and the EP name, Nilotic, refers to the Indigenous people of the Nile Valley. And I'm just kind of curious, was it kind of from the get-go you knew that you wanted the EP to have that strong representation for you of like, I guess, your ancestors and the heritage behind that?
Surprisingly not. This EP, I say to people, like I didn't plan to do this EP. Like I didn't sit down and just go, I want to do Nilotic, you know. I knew I had to make music, but the idea behind Nilotic and what it talks about, I didn't plan. It was sparked by so I was working out during the COVID situation, and I was working out with a group, Sati Soul. They're like a huge band back home in Kenya, and we were just chatting one afternoon. My mum had joined us, and in that moment, the guy that we were talking to, we're from the same like village, so my mum and him were just having that, you know, deep connection. They were just trying to figure out, you know, who's staying where, how close are we, and that's when our trainer was like, oh, like that means Elsy's a Nilot, and that one word created this whole EP. Like I don't know how, but I think in that moment when he said it, it almost kind of it just reminded me of like, yeah, like who I truly was, because, you know, it's not something that I think about, you know, a lot of the times, but yeah, I think when he said it, it really just stuck in here because it was something that almost just reminded me of like, yeah, like this is who I am, this is where I've come from. I was like, yeah, you know, and I remember just after that workout session, I went into the studio and I did research. It was a lot of research. I didn't even produce. I just went online and I was searching up, you know, who were the Nilots, and because I knew that we're known to be, you know, very, you know, we had that kingship, we had that power already, but I wanted to see like, you know, yeah, who are we, where are we coming from, what are we about? And you've got the likes of Barack Obama, you've got the likes of Lupita Nyong'o, like, you know what I'm saying, like Nilots and Nilots, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that's where that energy came from, where I was like, yo, like the people I'm, you know, I guess associated with culturally are like big people. So like, that means I'm big, you know what I'm saying? You know, and you're like, I have this power within me. Let me just find it. Like, where is this power at, you know? And I think that was the energy that drove me to start Nilotic as, I guess, the EP or just the single at first, really. And I think I was just running off of that energy of, I am a Nylot. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am powerful. And I think also because being a Nylot, we're usually the darkest, known to be the tallest, coming from, South Sudan, and we're usually the ones people hate the most because we're the ugliest, so it was also that turning point where I was like, submerging myself in a place where I was seeing a lot of love towards the darkest people of Africa, and it wasn't there all the negative sides of it, so yeah, I really just ran with that for till now. I'm still running with it till now, and I just wanted to really discover how beautiful we are, and that's really how that journey started. And after the research, that's when Nilotic the single came about, talking about just re-owning everything that they took away from us, because I think I was at that place of how have I come from such greatness and I don't know it, who took that knowledge away from me? Why do I not know that I'm so great, and so I fell into this almost deep anger from being so excited and so powerful, because I was like, I have so much, but someone somewhere has taken it away from me. And that's why you hear, let me have the gold, let me have the diamonds, let me take my style back, let me take my culture back, because, someone took it away from me. So, Nilotic was me as a Nilot just trying to reclaim back everything, that they stole from me, and it was really a sad journey, really, because it was so hard to fathom that, again, I had everything that I needed in here, my skin, you know what I'm saying? Like, me as a being, I am more than enough, but why didn't I know that for so long, so that was how the single came about. And then River Nile now comes, where now that I fully understood and I'm fully on board of who she is and who we are, I was like, now with confidence, I can just rip you all apart, because I know who I am. I've done my research. I know what I'm about. I can rip you apart, because even if you came to me with anything else, I have things that I've seen. I have things that I've read. I have things to fall back on. I have people to fall back on. You know what I'm saying? So River Nile had that confidence because I at least had that foundation. I had done my groundwork, and I was like, "Ish, I'm not taking anything from anyone." I couldn't have it. I just wasn't having it. And everything else just, I guess, followed through. The whole EP really was a beautiful journey, because again, a lot of it wasn't planned. I think in that journey of just trying to figure out again who I am and who we are, I really just wanted to, I made myself super open. I spoke to friends and family who are of, the Nilotic region. So speaking to friends that are Kalenjins, you see in the Nilotic music video, I have all the women, the Kalenjin women who are dancing with me, and I'm working with other Nilots from different countries. And yeah, I met with a few people. I had a lot of conversations, just trying to enlighten them as well, to join that bandwagon of like, hey, do you know who we are? Like, we could really be taking over, like, what's going on, so that was kind of in a nutshell about how that started.
That is an incredible story. I kind of love that.
Hey, it's Sharon, and here's where it gets interesting. Raise your hand if you want salon perfect nails for just $2 a manicure. Yeah, me too. With the Olive & June Mani system, you can say goodbye to expensive services that take hours and hours and love your nails more than ever. I would know. I've been doing it for years. Get 20% off your first Mani system with code PERFECTMANI20 at oliveandjune.com/PERFECTMANI20. That's PERFECTMANI20 at oliveandjune.com/PERFECTMANI20.
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back-to-school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back-to-school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
Almost I guess, what's the word? The fact that you said that you kind of stumbled across this in conversation and that it wasn't something that was sought out and pre-planned, but I think that whatever destiny, fate, whatever it may be, that kind of drew you into that conversation and that has led you here, well, to the EP, not to this podcast, but to the EP more so, I think is incredible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the way it works is so interesting. But yeah, I think that was the thing. Like, interestingly enough, after Nilotic, I was still in a very physical state where I had that, like, you know, I've produced this track, I've done this thing by myself, like I'm so capable. But I then hit like a 7-month writer's block where I couldn't do it again. Like, I couldn't produce, or rather what I was producing just wasn't it, you know. And it wasn't until I had to like submit myself to God and to that calling and, you know, to that fate of just going with that flow and going with where I was supposed to be going and not trying to create this thing for myself, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was so beautiful how it all worked out, really. So beautiful.
It is I'll continue to say it throughout our interview. It is a gorgeous EP, and anyone who is listening to the podcast, we will put the link to the EP in the show notes so that they can listen or buy it on vinyl, which I believe is available. Elsy, do you remember when you first kind of became interested in music and kind of thought of it as a career that you could follow and songwrite?
That was, I want to say 2017 was the time where I definitely had that turning point of, I'm going to do the thing, I'm going to create, I'm going to make music and inspire people. Playback 808, a local independent label here, who just, Diaspora's founder, who made this foundation for African artists to just come together and create, you know, because we never really had that space. And they put me on their lineup to open up for their show, and just the reception and the love that I got from that just showed me like I had that gift and I could speak and inspire people. And after that, I think that was that turning point where I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to create music. I want to make music for myself and for other people. So I think that was definitely the point where I was like, this is my calling.
That's very, very cool. Were either of your parents, I know that if I've done my research correctly, I know that your father believes that he knows good music, but were either of them musical? Were either of them kind of hoping to kind of push you towards being a musician?
Yeah, my dad 100%. He is a huge lover of music. The thing is, he did practice music though. Like, I guess he didn't do it professionally or anything, but music was definitely, remains in his heart. But he was the one that got me to the studio. Actually, he's the one that saw the love that I had for music and pushed me towards, you know, where I am. And to this day, you know, he just comes to shows and watches proudly, you know, side stage. But I think my dad was definitely that. I think that the anchor that held me there for time till this day. You know, he always reminds me and teaches me how to love music. You know, my mom, on the other hand, knows nothing about music. She's also a lover of music. I think honestly, as African people, I think music is infused in us, so we enjoy and love music regardless. But in terms of practicing music, she can't keep time to save her life, but she also just like feels music. Because again, like I think as Africans, we all like we feel it, but I think the technical side of it and the theory side of it is a hit or miss, and it definitely missed her.
Have you happened to have gotten your father on a song or on a track yet? Has he played anything?
I haven't. Do you know, the thing is, he doesn't know how to play an instruments. I think as a young boy, he played like the accordion randomly enough. But I've actually never thought to include him. I will, and I will give you your cut. But he has in the studio. So for the EP, he helped me with translating Hunger, one of the tracks in the EP. I sing in Luo, and I am not the greatest when it comes to speaking in Luo, so I had the words in English, and he came into the studio and sat with me while I was recording, and he helped me like translate and just like say it correctly in Luo. So yeah, that was a good time. But yeah, I've never actually thought to actually like include him in a track, so that might be something that I might have to explore.
I look forward to Nilotic Part 2 or whatever the next EP or album might be when your dad's able to, you know, do a feature, a cameo, if you will.
Yes. Fingers crossed. I'm definitely going to let him know. I have to let him know now.
Elsy, you've also got some live shows coming up as well in support of the EP, and one of the biggest ones announced this week being Vivid Live at the end of May, which is very exciting. Congrats.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's definitely, I mean, now that things are opening up, that's also just allowing us to get on stage and do the thing. But it's been really, really, it's been really exciting to see artists and perform with artists and also just like around Nilotic, you know, build Elsy Wameyo, you know, as the artist. And yeah, it's been cool to step on stages and such big stages. I actually didn't clock how big Vivid was until they released the lineup, actually, because I'm super out of touch with just the outside world. And I think, Moju messaged me, and I just went on the website and checked the lineup, and I was like, yo, like, this is a big, I imagined it, I thought it was like this like 1 day festival where it's like 2-3 stages and people just come and they do the thing. But I'm now understanding it's like a whole they just drenched Sydney in music. So I'm even more excited now to step on that stage for sure. But super honored that, you know, I can do that, and I can be on such stages at such an early point of my career as well.
100%. I imagine that these shows are going to be incredible, and we'll make sure all the links for all your upcoming shows are in the show notes for the podcast. Elsy, usually we would ask our guests what they're currently listening to, if there's any record, single, whatever it may be at the moment that is currently taking your fancy.
Right now, I've just started to like re-listen to Little Simz, Introvert. Sometimes I may be introverted or introvert. Sometimes I may be introvert. Because honestly, I hadn't really been listening to anything for a while. As soon as I finished Nilotic, I was going to say pen paper, but really it's my phone. I put my phone down and I stopped writing for a while. I haven't created or written or produced ever since that last track. So I hadn't been listening to anything. I think we've just been doing the back end of, you know, I was doing videography, so like videos for the tracks, and just the back end of releasing and doing the interviews and doing the shows and stuff like that. But it was actually only like, I think 3 days ago, a day after stepping off of WOMAD, when I was very much so reminded that I need to continue creating and that I need to start, you know, working on the next. So I started to revisit Little Simz. Little Simz was the inspo for River Nile when it came to the writing side of things. So yeah, I started to revisit her, and it was perfect because she just did the new album, and so it was really cool to at least have something fresh as well to listen to and to work from, and definitely going back to Kendrick. But yeah, at this point in time, I think Little Simz is where I'm at.
That's a very, very solid choice. That record is similar to what, not to wrap it up, but similar to what we were saying before about River Nile, is that record is just huge sounding. It's very large in scope and cinematic. So I think, perfect choice.
Yeah, she did. Oh my gosh, there's so many pieces in there that I'm like, how and where, and just But it's so good to have people to, I guess, look up to and listen and have something to almost aim for, or even try, hit, higher, So it's super cool.
100%. Elsy, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast today. I do appreciate it, and congratulations again on the Nilotic EP, which is out now.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
And that's our show. A massive thank you to Elsy Wameyo for her time. Nilotic is out now, and we've left links in the show notes if you'd like to buy the record. We also want to give a huge shout out to Alex at Thinking Loud for helping out with today's interview. If you like this show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Wednesday and Friday morning, and we now have a Patreon, which you can find within the show notes of this episode. You can follow the Playlist profile on Spotify, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until next week, cheers.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you? If people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else. Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.